Hey guys, in this video I wanted to show you my Book of Shadows. I actually have two of them, and one of them I started a few years ago, the other one I started maybe like a year and a half or so ago, and both of them are very important to me. Both of them are still works in progress, but I will show you some different pages and excerpts of my writings and whatnot that's in there. I do have a lot of poetry and very personal stuff in both of these. I will not be showing you that stuff, but I will show you other things that I think will still be kind of cool to see. I love watching these videos by other people because I think it's really interesting and intriguing to see snapshots of other people's spiritual development and also the information that they consider important enough to record in a book that they're probably going to keep for their whole lives. So I'm going to get started and show you those right now. Okay, so this book is very plain. I don't even have anything on the inside of here right now. Probably in the future I'll put something there, but at the time I was just really interested in getting information in here. So one page I can show you in here is this page here where I wrote out the Wiccan Read. And I've also got a page in my book dedicated to the Wheel of the Year, and this was my own drawing and interpretation of the wheel. And I've got a little reflection written underneath, and then I've got a page. I have a few pages written about the different Sabbats. So you can see there's Imbolc there and Ostara. And I wrote these a few years ago, so like these are just point form notes on the Sabbats. It doesn't encapsulate my entire understanding or really all of my feelings about the Sabbats. I've written separate reflections about them. Again, this is just more Sabbat info. I did use some very simple illustrations, as you can see, and just tried to design things in what felt like a very simplistic yet attractive way, so that my pages and things would be easy to read. And I have some information about the elements. Just really basic, short point form notes. And then I started writing about deities, and I started with the Greek Pantheon. So I've got information about Artemis and Apollo. So I've done this with a few different pantheons. I don't think I need to show you every single, page that I've done. I am putting this information in here so that I remember it better. So to me, there is a point to copying this stuff out, because for me, doing that actually allows me to deepen my understanding. When I have to put something into my own words, my own understanding and interpretation of that thing becomes so much more clear and so much more internalized than it was when I was just reading about it. Here's another page still in pencil where I was writing about the consecration of items and how a person can choose to consecrate their items for magical use. Here is a section where I talk about Sabot Preparation. So I talk about here how there's 9 different ways that I can see how a person can really celebrate a Sabbat and get into this season. Like altar decoration, using ritual oil, doing some kind of craft or recipe that is appropriate for the season or the Sabbat, deity meditation. I've got more on the other page here. And then I've got taking a seasonal walk, bathing and dressing, and then space cleansing. So these are like 9 different ways that I personally will generally do things in order to get into the right frame of mind to be able to get the most out of a ritual. Here is the very first Imbolc ritual that I ever did. So I wrote some different instructions for my ritual in here and about how to do it. And then information on how to open and close a circle and things like that is on different pages within this book. So this is just the ritual itself. So this was a ritual where I basically used ice magic, taking a piece of ice and using it to represent some kind of obstacle or issue that I want to overcome to make way for new things in the coming season of spring. I haven't actually repeated this ritual yet. I've been so far doing different things each year on Imbolc, but I like that I wrote this all out and can come back to it at a later time if I want to. And here's the first Ostara ritual that I did for myself. So that's just like another example of a very, very simple ritual from a few years ago that I had performed. It's funny because my rituals now are very different than these first ones that I wrote about. And on this page I have some information for a full moon ritual that I once wrote about and like to practice. And there's some more information here on it. Here's a page that I have on colors. So I left a lot of space so that after I finished putting in super basic information, I could add more of my own, you know, experiences with the colors and things like that. So that's why there's so much negative space here on these pages. In pencil, I have a chart with some crystals and the different abilities that crystals have for when I am working with them. Anyway, so that's the stuff that I wanted to show you from this book here, and now I will show you my other book. This book here is just a plain sketchbook. It's currently not decorated on the outside. I first started using this book after doing a ritual for the student group that I'm in. It's a Wiccan group, and we dedicated, I gave books to everyone that they could use for whatever purpose they wanted, and then in the ritual we asked for the blessing from our various gods. And this is just a pretty picture that I found on the internet that I printed out, which has a deity on here that looks very much like Pan, or the horned god, and then this beautiful lady here who is like a very celestial looking goddess. So anyways, so again from the internet I cut out this cute little scroll version of the Wiccan read, and then I have this cool interpretation of the witch's pyramid in pentacle forms. This is kind of like a 3D version of it. And I sort of drew my own little leaves and thorns on it to represent how all of this stuff is living knowledge that we gain through the experience of life. So as we go through life, especially at different phases in life, we learn more about what each of these points means. And I think to be silent, for example, is one that we might learn more as we get older. And we talk less and listen more, and yet when we do speak words, they have a lot more power and meaning behind them than perhaps when we were younger. And when we're younger, maybe we're more in this phase to dare. So the thorns and the leaves kind of symbolize how there's a balance between all of these ideologies in how to live and how to practice magic, and that they're all things that out of balance could hurt you or could help you to grow. And you need to know at which time, which one of these is the thing that you need the most. I pasted into here the charge of the god. And I hadn't decorated the charge of the god yet, but I have also the charge of the goddess, which I cut out from a printout from the internet. And then I put collage images behind the various words. I think both of these pieces of work are very beautiful, both the charge of the god and that of the goddess. So I have this page too, and I have this one as well. And I put little owl eyes, so there's two pieces of art on this collage page. So that was just me like trying to add my own artistic flair, because again, I don't have tons of time, unfortunately, to work on making super artsy. On this page, I pasted in an image that I used on some candles that I gave out to everyone in my student group called Two Moons Rising. Here is an image from the Kabbalah, which shows the Kabbalistic tree of life. And what I did with this image is it's just a printout, but then I actually pasted this cool picture onto it of a person. This illustrates someone with all of the chakras on here. And it's kind of like an East meets West sort of a thing that I was trying to achieve here. And I've got a couple of pages here where I have the Invoking and Banishing Pentagrams. This is a sheet that my friend wrote out with the pentagrams, because at the time he had been learning how to draw the symbols of the pentagrams in the air for ritual purposes, and I'm currently trying to memorize that. So he let me keep this sheet for my own purposes, and then I wrote nature on here. And then I pasted nature as the word on there for a collage element. And then here I have a very simple thing for quarter calls and pictures that represent north, east, south, and west. When I do quarter calls, I tend to write like very poetic things out, but I thought I would just put like a basic saying in here and some basic info just for reference. And then I put see nature in a new light. And here I have the very back page of my book, which is a collage with some words and phrases on here that I would say that they're like simply inspiring to me, but they're actually things that are sort of part of my life's philosophy now. And I would like to do a video where I kind of speak on each of the things that I have put in here in terms of the phrases and stuff, because they all have a very special meaning to me, and they're all lessons that I've learned. Like, they're not necessarily things that I've always believed or that I've always felt guided by, but now I very much so do feel influenced by them and want to live by them. Anyway, I hope that you did enjoy seeing a little bit of a glimpse into my personal 2 books of shadows that I have for my Wiccan spiritual practice. Thank you so much for checking out my video, and have yourself a lovely day.